Okay, y'all, so I'm back with another video. I'm doing a double whammy. I'm finna do sister. In my eyes, for a long time, Tia and Tamara could do no wrong, except for Twitches. Sis wasn't watching that. Wasn't watching Twitches, period. So, say what you want, say what you think. You might have loved Twitches. I don't care. This ain't your channel. This is my channel. So, I didn't watch Twitches. I didn't like the witch thing. But, you know, to each his own. They liked it. They did 2 of them. So, that's that. But 17 again was a whole move, okay? 17 was a movie. And over their careers, Tia and Tamara have blossomed, you know, into quite, you know, the influential women they should have been. And they were also a good example of child stars who didn't go left, because a lot of the times when children start off young, they end up having this period where they're just like off the chain. But Tia and Tamara didn't have that, and neither did Taj. So their mama, kudos to their mom, like seriously. But of course, as we know, Tia and Tamara grew up biracial. But for the longest time, you know, we never knew that, because a lot of the times in the 90s, a lot of the biracial actresses, they play black. And to me, they're black. I know it's a big debate about whether biracial children are black or if they're as black as natural black kids. But in the eyes of me and majority of America, they look black. And so they played full black. And also, it was interesting because I just saw an episode last night when I was finishing up the show. I was in the last season. And their natural born father on the show, Matt Sullivan, or Mark Sullivan, who was the famous photographer that they ended up meeting, he was white. And in real life, their father is white and their mama is a black woman. So I thought that was quite interesting. I didn't notice that. Another thing that I didn't notice on Sister was TJ Henderson. They threw that in there. They didn't have like a segue episode like Girlfriends did the game, or like Moesha did the Parkers, but they did bring TJ Henderson in to tutor them for their SATs, which I thought was funny, because if you watch Smart Guy, which I've watched all the Smart Guy on Disney Plus, so if you have Disney Plus, Smart Guy is up there. Smart Guy was based in DC, and of course, you know, so Sister was based in Detroit. So I thought that was funny. And of course, what I also thought was funny was that their brother, Taj, who played their tutor, and TJ Henderson, he played their cousin Taj in the beginning of the show. So, watching Sister, I was glued to the TV. Every time rerun came on Sister, I was watching it. And there was no episode that I have not seen. Sister has been on numerous channels. They've been on BET. They've been on UPN. They've been on Disney Channel. And I was hard on Sister when it was on Disney Channel, because that was an era when Sister was on Disney Channel, because that's when Proud Family and all of them was on TV. But anyway, so loved Tyreek. I love Jordan, but I love Tyreek more. Tyreek just had that. Tyreek was fine, okay? Just period. And of course, we all grew up loving Jordan as Bud on Cosby. So Jordan had a special place in my heart from childhood, period. I realized that I did not like Roger. And I can't believe that, because, you know, I love Sister. And of course, you know, they had that famous line, "Go home, Roger." And I really thought that they was going, you know, slide Roger out. But they had no thing. They just kind of left Roger behind. And Roger was supposed to be their best friend. But it just, you know, threw Roger to the side, even though, of course, in real life, Roger left the show because, of course, IMX, aka Immature, was blowing up at that time. So Roger was booked and busy. He was being the Beyonce of his group, if you didn't know that. So I liked how, you know, of course, growing up, watching reruns, they never really showed the episode when Tia and Tamara first met. So when I saw the episode, I thought it was funny. I also noticed that in the last episode, and I never noticed this, that before the wedding, they went to the mall, and the same clerk who got them confused in the mall with each other on the first episode was the same guy from the last episode. Love Sister. I did always know how Sister ended, but rewatching it as an adult, it was completely different because I just could not believe that they ended that like that. Like, that was a sorry way to end Sister. Did y'all not care about the fans? Did y'all not care about T and Tamara? Okay? I felt like Sister could have had a spinoff. I really do think that, because if Ray and Lisa got married, Lisa got married to Victor. Of course, Lisa had to move out with Ray, and then Ray left and then went to go work in government. Of course, he had Ray's limo, so he basically, I guess, sold the business, sold his house, and was leaving. Tia was going to New York to work for the WNBA. Tamara was going to spend the summer in Africa with their natural dad. And so they just ended the show. Roger showed up, but Roger didn't really have no lines. He was just basically a guest at the wedding. And I feel like in college, like Diavion and Jordan, Tyreek, and Tia and Tamara, they had a thing going. That could have been the spinoff. I don't know why they didn't come up. Maybe it did. Maybe they put it in the works and it didn't really work. But I really wish that we could have seen Tia and Tamara transition through college, because we only got their freshman year. So y'all owed us sophomore, junior, and senior year. We ain't have to see Tia and Tamara grow up and be married, even though they did try to reboot all of that. But I feel like that would have been good, because Tia and Tamara had their own movement. They were the teen sensations at the time during their era as well. So Sister was a very popular show. And so I just feel like it didn't end. It wasn't a farewell episode. Of course, they started new beginnings, but I think that new beginnings could have spawned into something else. Tia and Tamara could have really had their own version of Different World. And another thing I noticed that a lot of people critique, when I watch Grownish, a lot of people critique the fact that Zoe went to a PWI and then she was trying to have a black experience. Tia and Tamara went to the University of Michigan, which is a PWI, and they totally had a black experience, which is why I wish that people, and I'm speaking for the black people that go to PWIs because I went to two. I don't know why there's this, notion that when a black person goes to a PWI, they lose their culture. They don't have no culture. They don't have any flavor. They don't have none of that. And when Tia and Tamara went to University of Michigan, they had concerts there. They had the Goody Mob there. Who else they had? They had Next. They had 702. No, did they see 702? No, they had 702 at their school. They did have Dub C on the show. Who else did they have? They went to Freaknik and saw Maya and Backstreet. So it was just, I just don't know why people feel that way. And also, even not to get too much off topic from Sister, but Moesha, she went to I think the University of California or something like that, and it was a PWI, and she still had a black experience at a PWI, because at PWIs people have their own black community there. The black people are like, it ain't that many of y'all there, so y'all got to come together and be like family. Everybody knows everybody. I just want to throw that out there for all the people who, question, because not every black kid goes to a HBCU. Thank God for Different World, you know what I'm saying? And thank God for the Cosby Show, because they did, do the whole black school thing. But, a lot of the times that when kids go to these schools in these different states, such as Detroit, I don't know if Michigan has any HBCUs. Because the majority of HBCUs are in the South, in the, eastern, southern part of the country. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. I thought the little breakup between Tia and Tyreek was whack. I know I skipped past seasons 1 through 5 when they was in high school. I like that little hangout thing. It was a typical teenagery show. You hang out, you do homework, you go to school. The show is based around it being high school. Yeah. But Tia and Tamara, the show got a little bit more, serious once they got to college, because they had boyfriends. They was in love. They was trying to balance having a job and starting their career and getting experience. So after they graduated, they can have a job. And so I just thought that was, that could have been a great spinoff. I feel like they did not work with what they had. I know the viewership left, but the only reason why the viewership left is because every single time a black sitcom got on TV during that era, they decided to move it to another network. Stop moving the shows to other networks. The people back then didn't know. They ain't had no source of, knowing. But now we got social media. So I feel like if a show left a network and went to another one, it would be, easier to transition that audience. But it wasn't that easy back then. Because, you had your main black networks like BET and UPN. And then you had your other networks that was like, Fox and NBC. And then you had ABC, who had black shows and white shows. So, T and Tamara was so cute. They really made me want to twin real bad. Like, every time I watch T and Tamara, literally, I would be like, dang, I wish I had a twin. Like, them switching places to take tests, except for in college, because that wasn't cute, Tamara. That was not cute, sis. You was trying to have Tia take your test, and then she let you get a 0 because she ran out. You deserve that 0, sis, period. But yeah, that Tia and Tyreek breakup was whack. And another thing I noticed, they didn't really let us get a chance to meet and fall in love with Victor. Like, Victor literally came in the picture in the last season. He probably was on 5 or 6 episodes, and then Lisa just married him. Like, Terrence, when Lisa was dating him, you remember him, the supervisor from Food Boy, the grocery store? We got a chance to know him. They dated a whole season and a half, and she was supposed to marry him, and she told him no. So I'm like, so what was the difference between him and Victor? I do appreciate how they showed the struggles of being a businesswoman with Lisa. She was a designer, and the fashion industry is a hard industry to break into, especially with her being in Detroit, because I don't know if that's like, I know Detroit was known for music and cars back then. I don't really know much about them being a go-to place for fashion, but they show how she, started off struggling as a small designer, and then she ended up having big name clients. So, that's my overview. So I think that's all I learned. Different things that I saw as an adult. I could talk about some other things, but seeing as though they are negative, I don't want to talk about that. I don't even want to put that on the channel. I don't even know why I even brought it up. But, like I said, there are other things I could talk about. But I just don't. But yeah, Sister was all the way a full pop. Like, it was a pop for me. That ended won't, but I love the show. I was just, all bubbles inside, like butterflies and bubbles inside. When it came on, I was like, finally. But now, y'all, the Parkers is out. So, sis about to watch that, and I'm about to watch Girlfriends. And then, come back to y'all with Girlfriends and the Parkers. I don't know if I'm going to do half and one-on-one, y'all, but we'll see. Subscribe, sis. Subscribe. Stay tuned to my channel. If you have not seen my other reviews, go and view my Grownish review. Go and review my Mr. Cooper review. Go and review my Living Singer review. Go and view my Moesha review. And of course, view Sister. And leave me comments down below on what you thought of these shows. And I'll be back with more videos. Deuces.